You think God is punishing you, but what if He's preparing you? One of the clearest signs that God is separating you for a greater purpose is when He starts stripping things away that once felt essential: relationships, opportunities, even your comfort zone. Suddenly, the friends you used to vibe with don't call anymore. The job you once loved now feels hollow, and no door seems to open no matter how hard you knock. It feels like rejection, but it's actually redirection, because God doesn't elevate those He hasn't first set apart. Look at Moses, exiled into the wilderness for 40 years before leading a nation. David, anointed king, but forced into hiding for years while dodging Saul's spear. Separation isn't random, it's surgical, and the more it hurts, the more precise it is. Another sign? You start feeling a deep discontent with where you are, not worldly frustration, but a holy unease. Your spirit starts to ache in places that once felt comfortable, like the cage is too tight for who you're becoming. That's not failure, it's spiritual growth in disguise. Philippians 2:13 says it's God who works in you both to will and to act in order to fulfill His purpose. He's rearranging your desires, pulling you away from what's good so He can position you for what's God. You might also notice that people start misunderstanding you, even labeling you as distant, different, or too much. That's not coincidence, it's confirmation. When you're marked by God, you won't be understood by everyone. Jesus said in John 15:19, "The world would love you as its own if you belonged to it, but you are no longer part of the world." So if you're constantly explaining yourself, constantly being judged for your obedience or hunger for righteousness, take that as a sign you're being called higher. Another sign, your usual coping mechanisms suddenly stop working. The distractions you use to run to entertainment, comfort zones, even certain sins, they start feeling empty. You open your favorite app and it bores you. You binge the show but feel nothing. That's not depression, it's detachment. God is detoxing your appetite so He can rewire your purpose. He's breaking soul ties with the shallow to make room for the sacred. Psalm 84:11 says, "No good thing does He withhold from those who walk uprightly." So if He's withholding, maybe it's not good for where you're going. And perhaps the most overlooked sign, intense spiritual warfare. The attacks seem relentless, anxiety spikes, doubt creeps in, even your sleep feels stolen. But listen, hell only fights what heaven favors. The enemy doesn't waste bullets on empty vessels. If you're under pressure, it's because you're carrying something powerful. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, and God allows that struggle to sharpen your discernment and deepen your roots. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. So stop asking God to bring back what He's already removed. Stop begging to go back to Egypt when He's leading you to Canaan. He's not being silent, He's being strategic. Separation is never about subtraction, it's about multiplication through pruning. John 15:2 says, "He cuts off every branch that bears no fruit, but even the fruitful ones, He prunes them so they bear more." If you feel like everything is falling apart, consider this. Maybe it's all falling into place. God's not done with you, He's just starting. And the isolation you feel is the incubation of something eternal. Don't run from it. Lean in.